Your August payment could be different than you expect, and if you don't check the right numbers before August 27th, you might miss money that's already sitting there waiting for you. Curious? Before we get into it, if you're new here, please take a second to subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep bringing you accurate, no-nonsense pension updates every single week, and it means a lot to have you as part of this community. Sincere. Today, we're breaking down exactly what's happening with your CPP and OAS payments in August 2026, the confirmed payment date, the new dollar amounts, and why some of you will see a bigger deposit than others this month, even though you're both collecting the exact same benefits. Stick with me through this video because near the end, I'm going to explain one detail about how CPP and OAS are actually paid that catches thousands of seniors off guard every single month. It's something almost nobody explains clearly, and it could save you a worried phone call to your bank. Let's start with the date you actually need to circle on your calendar. Service Canada has confirmed the August 2026 payment date as Thursday, August 27th. Both your CPP and your OAS, if you receive both, are scheduled to land in your account on this same day. Now, here's something a lot of people don't realize. Even though CPP and OAS arrive on the same date, they are technically two completely separate payments. If you look at your bank statement carefully, you may actually see two separate deposits, not one combined amount. Don't panic if that happens. That's completely normal. It simply means the government processes these as two different programs, even though they're timed together for your convenience. So mark August 27th down. That's your day. Now let's talk about the amounts, because this is where things get interesting and where a lot of confusion happens every quarter. Old Age Security, or OAS, is reviewed and adjusted 4 times a year. That means every 3 months, the government looks at the cost of living and decides whether your payment needs to go up. This is different from CPP, which only adjusts once a year every January. So while your CPP has stayed exactly the same since January of this year, your OAS has already changed, and it changed back in July. Here's the part that matters for August. The increase that started in July is the one you're still receiving in August. There is no brand new bump specifically for August. Instead, you're continuing to receive the higher July amount, which was a 1.2% increase over the previous quarter. So what does that actually look like in real numbers? If you're between 65 and 74 years old, your maximum OAS payment moved from $743.05 up to approximately $751.97 per month. If you're 75 or older, your maximum moved from $817.36 up to approximately $827.17 per month. Now, why is there such a big gap between those two age groups? This isn't a mistake, and it isn't random. Back in July of 2022, the federal government introduced a permanent 10% boost to OAS, specifically for seniors age 75 and older. That boost has stayed in place ever since, and it gets layered on top of every quarterly adjustment. So if you're turning 75 this year, keep that date in mind because your payment is about to go up automatically on top of any other increases the very month you qualify. Now let's talk about something even more important than the OAS number by itself. Because for many of you watching, OAS is only part of the picture. If you're a low-income senior, you may also be receiving the Guaranteed Income Supplement, or GIS, alongside your OAS. GIS is reviewed and reset every year, and the most recent adjustment brought the maximum monthly amount for a single senior receiving OAS up to approximately $1,109.85. That's on top of your OAS payment, not instead of it. For many single seniors with limited other income, that combination is one of the largest sources of guaranteed monthly income they have. Here's a question I want you to sit with for a moment. Do you actually know whether you're receiving the full GIS amount you're entitled to? Because a surprising number of seniors are receiving less than they qualify for, simply because their income situation changed and Service Canada wasn't notified in time. We're going to come back to that in just a moment, because it's one of the most overlooked ways seniors accidentally lose money every year. Let's shift over to CPP for a moment, because I know many of you are wondering why your CPP hasn't moved at all this year. As I mentioned, CPP only adjusts once annually in January, based on inflation from the previous year. That means the amount you've been receiving since January is the same amount you'll receive in August, and it will stay the same all the way through December. For context, the maximum CPP retirement pension for someone starting at exactly age 65 sits at approximately $1,433 per month. But here's something important. Very few people actually receive that maximum amount. Your personal CPP amount depends depends entirely on how much you contributed during your working years and for how long. If you took CPP early, if you had gaps in your work history, or if your income varied significantly over the years, your amount will be different from that maximum figure. If you're not sure what your exact CPP amount is, you can check it directly through your My Service Canada account online. I'd encourage you to log in and check, especially before making any decisions about your retirement income for the rest of the year. Now, here's something worth pausing on, because it surprises a lot of people watching a video like this one. Even though CPP contribution rates and thresholds get updated every year for workers still paying into the system, those changes don't affect the amount you're already receiving as a retiree. Once you're collecting, your payment is locked in based on your own contribution history and the annual January adjustment. The system continues evolving for future retirees, but your monthly deposit follows its own separate schedule. Let's talk about something that affects a smaller group of you, but for those it applies to, it matters enormously. This is the OAS Recovery Tax, sometimes called the OAS Clawback. If your individual net income goes above approximately $90,997 for the year, the government starts reducing your OAS payment. For every dollar you earn above that threshold, your OAS gets reduced by 15 cents. If your income climbs high enough, somewhere around the $148,000 mark, your OAS can be reduced all the way down to zero. Now, I know most seniors watching this channel are not anywhere near that income level, but if you've had a large RRIF withdrawal, sold a property, or had an unusually high income year for any reason, this is worth understanding before it surprises you on your tax return. If you think this might apply to you, it's worth having a conversation with a tax professional who can walk through your specific numbers and help you plan around it, rather than being caught off guard next spring. Let's go back to something I promised earlier, because I think this is genuinely one of the most important things I can tell you in this entire video. A lot of seniors assume that once they're approved for GIS, that's it, the amount stays fixed forever. That's not true. GIS is income tested every single year, which means your amount can go up or down depending on changes in your income. If your income dropped this past year, whether from a reduced pension, the loss of a spouse's income, or any other change, you may actually qualify for a higher GIS payment than you're currently receiving. But that increase doesn't happen automatically in every case. Sometimes you need to make sure your information is updated. On the flip side, if your income went up even temporarily, it's worth understanding how that might affect your supplement so there are no surprises. The safest thing you can do is call Service Canada directly or check your account online to confirm your current GIS eligibility reflects your actual current situation. It takes a few minutes, and it could mean real money either staying in your pocket or finally reaching your account. Now let's talk about what to do if your payment doesn't show up on August 27th, because every month we hear from people who are worried when their deposit is delayed. First, don't panic. Direct deposits can occasionally take an extra business day to appear, especially around bank processing schedules. Give it until the next business day before assuming something is wrong. If it still hasn't arrived after that, the next step is to log into your My Service Canada account and check your payment status directly. This will usually tell you if there's an issue with your file, such as outdated banking information or a document that needs updating. If you can't resolve it online, calling Service Canada directly is your best option. Yes, wait times can be long, especially early in the month. But for something as important as your monthly income, it's worth the call. Before I wrap up, I want to leave you with one thought. These numbers, the payment dates, the quarterly adjustments, the age 75 increase, they all sound simple when you hear them laid out like this. But in practice, thousands of seniors miss out on money every single year simply because they didn't know these details existed. That's exactly why this channel exists. Every week, we break down exactly what's changing with your CPP, your OAS, your GIS, and every other benefit that affects your retirement income in plain, simple language with no confusion and no guesswork. If today's video helped make things clearer for you, that's exactly what CPP OAS Weekly Update is here for, and it means more than you know when you stick around and subscribe. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It genuinely helps more seniors find this channel and get access to information they might not otherwise know about. And if you have a question about your own specific situation, drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, and many of your questions end up becoming future videos right here on this channel. Next week, we're going to be covering another major update affecting seniors across Canada, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.